Okay, I'd like to call the May 24th meeting of the Police and Fire Commission to order. Start with roll call. Commissioner Schaaf.
Here.
Commissioner Roloff.
Here.
Commissioner Wanasek.
Here.
And I'm Commissioner Goldhahn, here. I'm first approval of the agenda. You received the agenda in the mail. The only additional item I saw there was setting the date and time for the next meeting, so that's the only addition. But I do reserve the option to move things around to reflect getting some of the more meaty items done while Commissioner Roloff is still with us. So with that, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wanasek. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Roloff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. I'm going to dispense with the approval of the minutes. I'd like to go right into the report from the chiefs.
Okay, hang on. Advance through.
Okay.
Past the President's report. All right, report from the chiefs.
All right, and I'll start with Chief Litton. And since it was a private conversation, I won't say the names, but I do want to say that at the graduation for the firefighter candidates, the family of one of the candidates came in and said in a conversation with their youngster, I'll say youngster since there's both men and women, they asked them where they wanted to work because they had offers from multiple jurisdictions, and the answer was, I want to work for Chief Litton. I want to go to Green Bay. So I thought it's important to have that on the record, so congratulations, Chief.
Nice.
All right, your floor.
Just along those lines, the probationary firefighters now, the former recruits, but now probationary firefighters have been out for a month. By all accounts, they are doing really, really good out there. We do evaluate them every month during their probation cycle just to make sure that if there's anything that pops up on the street that we can address it right away. Sometimes it takes moving an individual to another station, but that's automatically built into the cycle. So we consider them what we call sacred cows right now, so they can't be bumped or moved out of the station. So they get a full environment of being in a big station with a ladder truck and then outline station and so forth. So, but they're doing really good. I don't expect there to be any issues whatsoever. They've been great through their recruitment, and they've started off just as well for their probation. So happy to report that. The only other thing I have is just a reminder that the battalion chief process is next week, Wednesday, May 30th, Friday, June 1st, and then the following Monday, June 4th, beginning at 8 o'clock. We had one candidate fall out of the process or voluntarily withdrew from the process, so we have taken that candidate out. It is on the last day on the 4th, so that day will end a little sooner. We should be done by about 12:30 on the 4th, just for planning purposes for the commission.
And we're in this building, or?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. We'll have a schedule of which rooms, but you'll be static in a room, so
okay.
they're going to be moving around, but you'll be set.
Okay.
So other than that, I have nothing else to report.
Questions for the chief?
Questions?
That's just you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Chief Smith.
Crime is down, continues to be down, and nicely 7% last week total overall crime year to date, which is great for us. Violent crime is up a tick, well, a significant tick, but overall down 7%. Motor vehicle theft is something that's increased. That didn't have any last week, but so far this year we've been way over where we were. Aggravated assaults are up, and sexual assaults are up. No serials, no series of those. Most of those involve, consensual relationships between kids in school that aren't old enough to consent, which we are obligated to take reports for, of course. We talked a little bit about making some changes in the organizational structure, where we're moving the captains back to the watches, 3 captains back to the watches, in anticipation of having the sergeants approved. We've got a sergeant's list that's ready to go here, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to get that approved, and we can make the sergeants, get them about 3 solid weeks of training, swear them in, assuming everything goes as hoped here, and we'll have that org chart changes and moving around some of the captains. 5 new officers were hired this week and are going through their internal training now. They'll be out in the field in about 3 weeks. 5 new police dogs were hired or were trained up and introduced to the community yesterday, bringing our total to 7, which is by far the largest number of dogs we've had in the time we've been here. And we're still looking to hire people. They did a series of interviews today. We're going to continue that process and look at another test probably late summer, early fall, because we have some openings now and probably about 8 after all these folks are on the books. looking to lose maybe another 10 people by Christmas time. So we'll be in a hiring pitch and looking for those top quality candidates until then.
They all retiring?
Retiring, a lot of retirees, yeah. Yep, the next few years, it looks like it's just going to churn retirees, 8, 10, 12 a year. And that would conclude my report.
All right, thank you. Any questions of the chief? Thank you, Chief Lippman.
Everybody have a good morning.
Aye.
As well.
Everything's a virtue.
Well, when somebody has places to be.
All right, the next item is consideration with possible action on the request to approve the police sergeant promotion list. Just for clarification, and the separation between the council and the commission, the city council has authority over the board, the organization chart of the police department. So they are the body that needed to approve the rank of sergeant. And then once that was approved by the council, then it's our job to authorize the people that are chosen for those positions.
And we don't have to do anything as far as selecting them?
Well, we have to approve any recommendations by the chief, and that will
Okay,
happen
but basically,
today.
just on recommendations, we don't get any background information?
Uh,
Like who was the peer review?
Yes, we can do that as part of the discussion that we have
Okay.
relative to these lists.
Okay.
So the first item is the request for approval of the promotion list, and Jen had a copy of the list in our package, and along with the process, and I think this would be the point where you can ask a question.
Yeah, my question is, I'm just looking at names, so to approve, who did the peer review. I mean, if I apologize, did we get this in some other minutes? I didn't go back in my minutes. I mean, we're just supposed to just approve it based on the list?
Well, this is your chance to ask questions
Okay.
for this.
Okay.
So
We're
how
approving
is
the process as well as
the
the
list
list.
put together, I guess my question. I read the process here. but I
Right, so
don't-
there was a testing process that we've agreed with the union on what the testing process would be, which starts off with a written test of 50 questions, and correct me if any of this is wrong, 50 questions which are graded and weighed, and then they have an oral interview, which each of the officers goes through an oral interview process.
And
Which,
who did those interviews?
there was on the oral interview board, I know we called on Lynn Boland to come and do it, Jennifer was on it.
A lieutenant, a captain, so Lieutenant Peril, Captain Florence, and then a member from the union.
That was
Officer
Eric O'Brien. So they did the oral interviews, and then the next step was the personnel file review, and that was done, and Captain Kevin Wark pretty much did the heavy lifting on that part of it. And then we did the peer review, where they put a survey out to a group of peers and a group of supervisors that knew these individuals, and had them rank them numerically in a bunch of different categories, and I think 44 was the maximum score you could get. And then we compiled all that information together, sat down in a room just like this with the member of the union board that was Phil Scanlon, and we went through it all with Jen and Phil Scanlon, Joe Falls, and came up with a list, looked at who scored, and the list that you see in the top 10 is the 10 that scored, the score that they had, and ranked in order of their scoring.
And any officers with 3 years' experience could have put their name in?
No, they had to have 6 years to apply and 7 years to be selected, and to be made into sergeant. So the order of the list you see is how they finished, and everyone successfully completed the exam, and we put the 10 candidates in the order which they completed.
And how many total candidates were there?
10, I think. There were no.
There
We
were
had,
10 in all.
So all 10 made it?
we had 1 or 2 that pulled out. I think one got a detective spot or something that they wrote.
I think what you saw Nancy reference to the 3 years was when we obtain the total score, for every 3 years of service with the department, they're credited with 1 seniority point.
Yeah, I just wanted to know.
Interestingly enough, the first candidate in first place would have scored first, even if when we removed the seniority points, based on the performance. So.
Okay, any other questions relative to the process? All right, and you all have the list as well as the process in your packet. No other questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Shaw,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Roloff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the promotion list and process have been approved.
So just for informational purposes, the city council has approved us to make 4 positions. I'm hoping that we can make 6 so that we can fill 6 positions. We're gonna have vacancies shortly anyway. I'm also spending a lot of money on overtime, on supervisory overtime. This year it's through the roof would be a great way to put it. And if I can make those 6 positions, so I'm gonna go back to the personnel committee and ask to make 6 positions. They've already said 4, I just would like to make 2 more, send everybody through training together, and then spread them out on the various watches. It'll be probably 2 on night watch, 2 on afternoons, 1 on middays, and 1 on mid-evenings to allow for adequate supervisory coverage. I think that'll cut down our overtime. I think it's a fiscally sound proposal, and I'm hoping that they buy up on that.
You have the 5th candidate identified. Do you know who the 6th will be?
The 6 would be Schilling, Jeff Schilling.
Well, let's talk, we'll talk that as the next agenda item, because we have to approve the specific ones that will be promoted. So item number 2 is consideration with possible action on the request for promotion to the rank of sergeant. Commission may convene in closed session pursuant to section 19.5, paragraph I, C, and F, Wisconsin statutes, to consider employment, promotion, or compensation, performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.85, paragraph 2, Wisconsin statutes, to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Watazak.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Roloff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, while in closed session, we reviewed the top 4 candidates for promotion to sergeant and approved those, and in addition, pending approval by the city council for 2 more positions, we further authorized the next 2 candidates on the list if that authorization by the city council is completed. Next item on the agenda, I'm going to delay the budget status report and spreadsheet and bills and move right into the patrol officer candidate reviews. The commission may convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.5, paragraph 1, sub C and F, Wisconsin statutes, to consider employment, promotion, compensation, performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.5, paragraph 2, Wisconsin statutes, to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. Is there a motion to go into closed session? So moved by Commissioner Watazak.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Shaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in closed session.
You can't leave.
I'm not leaving. I have to go to a wake.
Have we done that before?
All right, we're back. We're back in open session. While in closed session, we interviewed 1 candidate and reviewed 4 other candidates. From that review, we considered 1 candidate in process. We are delaying consideration on a 2nd candidate, and we are rejecting 3 candidates.
That's 6 if you're saying that. 6, not 5, 3.
Okay. Now, let's go back and catch up on some of the things that we passed through. Item B, item C, approval of the minutes.
Okay,
So we have,
I need to advance.
okay,
So moved.
all right. We have minutes of the April 9th meeting, and then the special, and then the hearing also on April 9th. So we'll wait for the system to catch up.
All right.
All right, do you have the minutes in your packet? Any changes or corrections? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Shaw,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Watazak. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, both sets of minutes are approved. I have nothing additionally to report. I want to thank the commission in advance for the time we'll be spending the next few months with hearings and reviews through the summer. We had the chief's report. The next item to catch up on is item 3, budget status report. That was in your packet. Again, everything related to police recruiting interviews.
Just a question, I see there's some newspapers, and one was in Oregon. Do we get good results from that? Everything I read says that people aren't looking at newspapers for job openings. Are we getting?
Those are diversity sources, so like there's one that's called Indian Country and.
And then there's one,
So
the Daily Dispatch.
I think those might just be their, like, purchase or mailing address, like
Okay.
their often websites plus a supplemental paper.
Okay.
Is that for recruitment?
Yes.
Mhm.
I've ever tried recruiting in Southern California, and, you know, we got Lucy from Santa Monica Police Department, you know, geez, there's a ton of cops out there, and, you know, maybe some of them are looking to get out and if we were to put-
Sanity.
come to Sanity, yeah.
But I see the Daily Dispatch was Oregon, right?
I can't recall if that was police or fire, but
That
I
was
believe
fire.
that's a
That was
website.
fire.
Okay, any additional questions?
Oh, they get all.
We say Oregon?
Not, I'll entertain a motion to receive these and place on file.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Shaw,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Wanazak. No further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We receive those and place on file. And the last one is consideration to approve the monthly bills.
You need a motion on that?
Yep.
Did you do the budget spreadsheet?
Yep, we did, together.
Let's do those together.
Yep. And those bills are just related to what we just discussed in the
Yes, yeah.
spreadsheet. Is there a motion to authorize payment?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Shaw,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Wanazak. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pay the bills. And that brings us to public hearings. There are no public hearings scheduled. Regular date for the next meeting would be July 7th. I suggest we put that in and plan for it. And then, given that we're going to be meeting several times in June, we may look to piggyback our regular meeting with one of the other meetings that we have in the course of June.
Not July 7th, that's a Saturday.
Am I looking at the wrong month again, Nancy?
Be July 5th.
No, we probably
Wouldn't want to do
wouldn't
that.
do it on
July 5th.
I was probably looking at June.
I'm not having, we're not having Saturday.
Piggybacking sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
Maybe we could do it on the 10th.
let's leave it as open.
We got that 1 o'clock on the 10th, could we do a noon meeting or something? No?
I'm trying to meet before that or
Let's
after?
do, wait a minute, noon on the 10th? Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Our date, noon on the 10th.
July 10th?
We're not gonna get
Right
any more
before the hearing.
backgrounds, are we? You don't expect us getting any more?
We have a couple more that was mentioned that we want taken off the
Removals.
list and we've withdrawn, but nothing,
Come on, I have the
nothing that
duty
we
part.
like coming up that I see.
And again, if the situation presents itself to combine it with an earlier meeting that we have in June, we'll do that too. But this will be a placeholder for it if we don't. All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
By Commissioner Wanzek, second by Commissioner Shaw. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
You get them for Steele.